What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. It is now time for the weekly wastewater update for Sunday, August 20th, 2023. Starting off here with BioBot, you can see here that almost all regions are continuing to rise, with exceptions to the Midwest, where there was a sudden drop. And I'm not certain that's actually correct. I think they'll probably correct that over time. It'll probably smooth out to show that it is still rising there. Taking a look down here in variance in wastewater, we can see that this week, EG.5, it is showing up. It's now at 8.2% detection in wastewater. So that EG.5 variant that we have been watching, it is starting to show up more in the wastewater. All right, taking a look at the national picture here, and I'm going to move myself to the left so you can see the charts. And you can see we do have a lot more color starting to show up on the map, which is not a good thing. First off, the sites that are in the white, they are new sites. There's 96 of them. The sites that are in the dark blue, 0 to 19%, there's 195 of them. The sites that are in slightly lighter shade of blue, 20 to 39%, there's 466 of them. Then this really light color blue, that's moderate levels of COVID. 40 to 59%, that's 358 sites. And then we come down here to the orange, there's now up to 212 of them, that's 60 to 79%. And then in the red, that's really high levels of COVID, 80 to 100% detected. This is not good, and there's now 52 of them. So the number of orange and red sites are increasing. You can just see on the map, there's more of them in California. There's a few new ones in Washington, some of the central states, and then the East Coast is just loaded with orange and red sites, indicating that, yes, there really is a rise in COVID at this time. All right, today I thought we would start on the West Coast and then gradually make our way to the east, ending somewhere on the east. Taking a look here, let's start off with Washington today. Why not? And we'll see up here in Washington that here's a wastewater site that has 16,150 population. And look at that. It is starting to rise at this time. It's a red site. Here's another one. Island, Washington. 24,180 population. Rapidly rising, and it is in the red, so there's high levels of COVID being detected. We have some orange sites there. Here's Pierce, 295,000 population, was rising. It's at moderate levels. Now it's starting to drop ever so slightly. Here's another one in Washington, in Pierce, 43,000, and look at this, rapidly rising, already at moderate. That could soon go red. And then taking a look here, Benton is dropping ever so slightly. Franklin, though, is 73,000 population and continuing to rise. So both of these are in the orange at this time. Taking a look down here in Oregon, Lincoln County, Oregon, 10,400 population, low and dropping. Oregon's not doing too bad. Here's Lane. Lane is rising at this time. And Coos, that's dropping. You can see, Oregon's not doing too bad compared to some of the other places you are going to see today. There's one that is rising. Here's another one that's dropping. How about Idaho? Let's check Idaho. Yikes. Idaho, it went up, then it went across. That's indication that it doesn't update all that frequently. Then taking a look here in California. And look at this. We do have a lot of areas that are rising at this time. We have a lot of moderate areas. Some of these sites up by the Bay Area, at least on the CDC map, don't update all that frequently. If we went to scan wastewater, it would update more frequently, and I think we will go to scan wastewater, at least for the LA. So here's LA. It's coming to Los Angeles. 3.5 million population. Moderate, but flat. But now let's go over to the scan wastewater website. There's a few places that we will have to use this website for today, if it decides to behave and work. Here we go. Let's just look at this site right here. So here we go. 3.5 million population. And you can see here, look at this. It is rapidly going up at this time for COVID. Influenza not detected, RSV not detected, HMPV not detected, Mpox not detected, and norovirus is dropping at this time. So that's good to see. Let's go back to the CDC website. And now let's start to make our way a little bit further east. We'll make a stop at Arizona. You can see Maricopa County is rising at this time. Wow, rapidly rising. It's low to near moderate. 23,746 population. So this is a smaller site. I know there's a bigger site here somewhere. Let's see here. Can we find it? There's got to be a bigger site here, because Phoenix has way more people than this. All right, let's just really zoom in. And you can see here, nope, I guess we're not going to find a bigger site. I thought for sure we'd find it. Well, here's a little bit bigger, 64,521. And this one's rising as well. So you can see, overall, the Phoenix metro area at this time is seeing a rise in COVID levels being detected by wastewater. Let's come over here to Colorado, and let's see what's going on there. What's going on in Colorado? Colorado, we see this site is moderate, but dropping at this time. Then we get up closer. Here's Morgan. We get up closer to Denver, and we don't see very many moderate sites at this time. We do see some low to moderate, but we don't see any moderate sites. Here's Boulder. Boulder is rising at this time. And now let's come up to Nebraska, Scottsbluff. Scottsbluff is moderate but dropping at this time. And overall in Nebraska, you do have quite a few, for a state your size, quite a few red to moderate sites. Adams County, red but dropping. Here's Lancaster County, 200,000, but dropping at this time. We'll do one more in Nebraska, Holt. Very small wastewater site, 3,700 people. It is dropping at this time. How about Oklahoma? What's going on there? Garfield, 51,000 population, dropping at this time. Let's go out to western Texas. Sometimes we forget to do El Paso. 142,000 population. It is in the moderate at this time, and it's dropping ever so slightly. Now we come down here to Dallas, where we do see there is now a red site, 313,000 population. And it's red, but at this time it looks like it is now starting to drop. Let's do another Dallas, 105,000, moderate but dropping. Smaller site is showing a rise at this time. And also we have another Dallas that is rising at this time. This one is not in the moderate. Now we come closer to Houston, and these sites, at least on the CDC page, are not updating as frequently, but you do see Houston and Galveston area. There is moderate to high transmission being detected in wastewater. What's going on here in Arkansas? We still have this moderate site. Washington County, Arkansas, 93,000 population, and look at that, it's rising rapidly, so that could eventually turn red. All right, let's go back north. How about St. Louis, Missouri? Let's see if we can't find the St. Louis site. This might be it. Here's Jefferson in St. Louis, 24,000 population. It is low to near moderate and rising at this time. Another Jefferson, rising. Here's St. Louis, slightly rising, 451,367 population. So this is a decent sampling size. And it is slightly rising at this time. Let's come up here to Iowa. Iowa, whoa, Johnson. You are low to moderate, but you're now starting to go on a rapid rise, so that is not good. And let's see what's going on up here in Minnesota. And you can see here, here's a big one, 1.9 million population. It's low and dropping at this time, so that's interesting to see that in Minnesota area there is not a rise yet. How about Wisconsin? Wisconsin's not doing terrible, but I would assume, let's see, here's one site, 72,000 population, Winnebago, Calmet, that is starting to rise at this time. I would assume, yeah, Sheboygan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, 75,000 population, you are starting to rise now, and rapidly rise at that. So despite we're not seeing any moderates here, I think within the coming week or two, we're going to start to see some orange and maybe even some red pop up in some of these sites. Here's Racine, 139,000 population. That is rising. Here's another one, Milwaukee area, and not really rising or dropping at this time. It's kind of just bouncing off the bottom at this time. But it seems like each time it bounces a little higher than the last. Alright, now let's take a look at Chicago area and northern Illinois, where the biggest population concentration is for Illinois. And you can see Cook County. It's low to moderate, but it is now rapidly rising, so that's not good. I think eventually we're going to see it go moderate. We'll get to high, I don't know, but at least moderate with the way it is rising now. And then we come down to this Dubois, 45,000 population, rapidly rising, and is moderate at this time. Here's another Cook County, and this one's 110,000 population again. This one's rising. Lake is rising at this time. Here's another lake that's slightly dropping, but the other lake sites are rising at this time. McHenry, slightly rising. Kendall, slightly rising. Kane is slightly rising at this time. What's this moderate site? Carroll, very small site, but it is rising at this time. Now let's check the Indianapolis metro area. Hamilton, this site is moderate and flat at this time, but if you notice, it doesn't update all that frequently. Here's a Marion that's moderate, but rapidly rising. Now to a big site, Marion, 800,000, moderate and rapidly rising. And here's another Hamilton that is rising. Speaking of Hamilton, let's go over to Cincinnati area, Hamilton, Ohio. And this was moderate, or near moderate, not orange, but low to moderate. And you can see here, 200,666 population, and it is dropping at this time, so it's good to see that dropping. Then we come over to Franklin County. This is not dropping. This is Columbus area, where they are actually reporting an increase in cases. I just shared a news story on that yesterday on Twitter from Columbus, and 645,000 population, and that's rising, so that's not good to see. Then we come up here closer to the Cleveland area. You can see there are sites up here that are rising. Then we come over here to Toledo, and look at this. Yes, some of these sites are rising, a couple are dropping. The majority of them are rising at this time. All right, how about Pennsylvania? What's going on in western Pennsylvania, Mercer, Pennsylvania? Let's see here. 16,000 population, that one's rising this time. Indiana County, Pennsylvania, this is not good, rising. How about we come down here to Allegheny? Small site for Allegheny, and it's dropping at this time. Then we take a look at Center County, Pennsylvania. Penn State University, they just went back this weekend. 90,000 population at this site, and wow, it is starting to rise much faster. And then, should we come to the Northeast, or should we do the South first? We'll come back to the Northeast. We got to do these southern states, because this is very important as well. And then we'll end on the Northeast this week. New Orleans, 389,000 population, slightly dropping, but it is, hang on a second, it is in the moderate now, so that's not good to see. Then we come down here to Miami-Dade, which is in the red. Here's one that's in the red. Wow. Doesn't update that frequently, but it just literally the arrow is straight upward. That's not good to see. Palm Beach, again, doesn't update all that frequently. We could get it faster on Wastewater scan. I don't think we need to at this time. And let's see here. Pinellas, 103,000 population, still rising. And yep, you can see around Disney World. And Orlando, yes, Orlando is still seeing a rise at this time. And some of these more northern sites are starting to level off. Now let's take a look at Georgia. Dougherty, 50,000 population. It is in the red, but it's starting to drop at this time. And I do see a red site near Atlanta. That's Clayton. Yeah, that's not good to see. It is dropping ever so slightly, but again, it is in the red. Let's go to Birmingham, Alabama area. These sites don't usually update all that frequently, but there are 3 moderate ones there. Taking a look here at Charleston, South Carolina. We're seeing red there. Continues to rise. How about what's going on here in North Carolina? Wow, we have multiple red sites down here near Charlotte. That's not good to see. And then we come over here to Raleigh-Durham area. And yep, a lot of orange and red showing up here. So things are quickly getting out of hand in this area as well. Look at this. I'm just randomly clicking on sites. And a lot of them are not looking good. Now let's go more east. Not good. Yeah, you get the idea here. North Carolina is not doing well right now. Wow. Wow. I would love to see North Carolina hospitalizations. Maybe I'll have to look that up this week and add it into the pandemic update, because I would assume their hospitalizations are going up at this point. If they're not, that means they're not testing for COVID. Take a look at Virginia, Halifax, rising. I mean, we have a lot of red here in Virginia. This is just not good to see. Red, orange galore, and look at them. They're all, majority of them, I mean, like right here, are rapidly going up. All right, we're coming back north now. Look at this. Wow. We see a lot of sites here that are just going, wow, like Arlington. I mean, literally straight up. And this is not one that doesn't update that frequently. No, this one updates regularly. And it's just going up. Look at Delaware. My goodness. Look at all these red sites in Delaware. Right in the tourist area at Rehoboth Beach, Sussex County. Look at this. This is just bad, folks. I mean, if you're in these areas, do not go to large gatherings. Newcastle County, Delaware. That's North Delaware. Rapidly rising. All right, let's look at my area, Philadelphia area. Oh, Chester County just rapidly going up. Chester, there's another one that's dropping. There's one that's slightly starting to drop, but man, things are just not looking good at this time in the East Coast. The West Coast, yes, there's some places getting bad. The Great Lakes, it's a mix of some places getting bad, but the East Coast, it is fairly consistent. Look at Monroe County, Pennsylvania. That's the Pocono Mountains, jam-packed with tourists all summer long. Well, guess what? It's paying off now because they're seeing quite a big rise. They're paying a hefty price tag for all those tourists, and that is rising COVID infections. Union County, New Jersey, rapidly rising. Monmouth County, it's moderate but flat at this time. Hudson County, New Jersey, it's now in the red and it's continuing to rise. And then let's take a look at Morris County, moderate orange, moderate to high, and it's continuing to rise at this time. Let's take a look at Long Island, Suffolk County. Wow, Suffolk County is not doing very well either. And taking a look here at New York City. All right, Bronx rising. We're just going to rapidly go through these sites. And so far, the majority of these here, Staten Island North, that one's dropping. It's in moderate here. Staten Island South, still rising. You know what? The majority of the New York City sites are, in some way, shape, or form, still rising. This one's dropping. How about this orange site? Kings, continuing to rise. So we're continuing to see a rise in New York City at this time. That's just not good. How about Connecticut, since we're right here? Hartford, 25,000, continuing to rise. New London is continuing to rise at this time. How about Fairfield? All right, this one's dropping a little bit. There's another Fairfield that's dropping a little bit. But we do have a moderate site, moderate to high site in the orange. 45,000. And look at that. It's continuing to rise at this time. Westchester, New York. Wow. Rapidly rising at this time. All right, let's go to upstate New York. Not looking terribly concerning in West New York, at least not on color. Here's one in Erie County, New York, that is rising. Yeah, when we look at these sites, they are rising. So we are going to see some more orange pop up here relatively soon. Here's a couple sites that are dropping. Here's a red site. And then we keep on going here. You can see here, again, this one is rising, but I don't think it updates as frequently. And you can see here, there are a few concerning counties here and there that are on the rise. St. Lawrence, 11,269 population, and this one is dropping at this time. Here's Franklin County, this is upstate New York, 4,900 population, rapidly rising. Albany now just turned into the moderate. That's not good to see. Saratoga did see a sustained drop. Now it went to the right. As you know what that means, it means that it's not updating as frequently now. Not a good thing to see. And wow, Chitterton, Vermont. This is Burlington. It is now in the red. Not good to see. Another Chitterton. It's in the orange. Not good to see. It is slightly dropping at this time. And Washington County. This is down by Montpelier. Doesn't look to me like this site is updating all that frequently. All right, very important. Massachusetts. Worcester, Massachusetts. Is both sites there are in the moderate at this time. But flat, not updating all that frequently. Boston, again, not updating that frequently. Let's go over to Wastewater Scan if we can. I hope this website does not freeze up on us today. And let's see here. We can actually zoom right in to Boston and get a much more accurate look at Boston. Let's see here. There we go. Coming up near the Boston metro area. And here we go. Here's Boston right here. It has been on the rise. It's dropping ever so slightly now, but the overall trend is rising for COVID. Influenza not detected, RSV not detected, HMPV not detected, norovirus is not an issue, and Mpox is also not an issue. Let's go back to the CDC site. Let's do Maine, and then we got a couple things down south that we did miss. Here's Cumberland County, Maine. That's not good. That's rapidly rising. And it is now in the red. Yikes. That's just not good at all. And this is Portland, Maine area. Portland, Maine at this time is not doing too bad. We could look at Wastewater scan, but again here, according to this, it did rise, but it's not as bad as that other wastewater site, and that is a much bigger sampling as well. Alrighty, real quickly, got to come back down here to Maryland, closer to Baltimore, and see what's going on there. In Baltimore at this time, there is one red site, but then the other ones are in the lighter shade of blue, so that's closer to moderate. And do we have a Washington, D.C. site? Yes, we have two of them. District of Columbia. Wow, straight up. And how about this other one? That one was moderate. Here's one that's 1.6 million, and it's low to near moderate. We'll still call it low, but it is rising at this time and is headed for moderate with, again, 1.6 million population. So, what's that telling me? When Congress and Senate come back, are they back in session yet? I haven't been following lately. It's possibly we could see a few tests positive for COVID with the way the level is. So expect to possibly see some political COVID positives soon. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Sunday edition of the Wastewater Update. I believe our next update is going to be tomorrow for the pandemic update. I don't think we have one coming this afternoon. Stay tuned. You never know. We may. But until I see you again next time, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to see this content, by all means, share this with them. I will see you all again next time. But until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a great day.